Okay, you are back from your trip, and now it is time to get your reimbursements and submit your expense report for the trip. Let's talk about how to do this. So, I am back in the spreadsheet where I filled out my travel request form, and now it is time for me to head over to the tab that says Travel Expense Report. So, I click here and let's orient ourselves to what's on this page. So, this is going to autofill information about your trip from this tab. This is letting us know when our expense report and receipts all need to be turned in. And this is auto calculating some of the estimates that we put into our travel request form. So notice that it's asking us about expenses that were paid prior to the trip and then is giving us days that we might have made additional payments. There's also a column where we're keeping track of things that were paid directly by the MESD on a P card or things that are due to the employees. So things that you need to be reimbursed for. We also have a section down here on mileage and a section down here on meals. All right, so let's go ahead and start filling this out. So for lodging, in the scenario that I gave in the last video, I was going to pay for the hotel on my own card. And let's say I did that on the day of checkout and it came out at this total. You just don't want the amount that you report to exceed your estimate. So it should be 460 or less. Let's say it came in at 460. And like I was saying, that was something that I would have paid on my own card, and so I need a reimbursement. Now we head down to registration, and in our earlier example, this was something that was prepaid, and it was paid on an MESDP card, so it's already purchased. There's no need for a reimbursement. And so then we have whatever other categories that you need to fill in here. Now, notice with per diem allowance, it's giving the set rate for per diem. And if I head back here, remember the way that we set this up is we said, yes, we want to do per diem allowance and let's do it at the standard rate. And oh, yeah, there's that one meal covered by the conference that we should subtract away, which gave us $131 as the amount that you're going to get reimbursed. And remember that if you are not a P card holder and you put in per diem allowance, you don't have to save your receipts. You won't have to upload them. This will just be the standard amount you're reimbursed. If you are a P card holder, remember that your per diem, your cost of any food, should be paid on a P card. So it's directly billed to the MESD and you won't have to do the reimbursement process. You will, however, have to save your receipts and upload those into the P card system. Okay, so we've got things moving along, and this 131 is something that you need to get reimbursed to you. This is a little bit unclear to me, but this section seems to be if you're getting reimbursed meal by meal. We're going to go ahead and put this 131, even though this is a white cell, in here, just so we make sure that we're keeping track that this is something due to you. Now, with mileage, we said we were going to go from Portland to Eugene. So on my first day of travel, I'm writing my travel information. And I didn't look this up, but we estimated that that was a distance of about 110 miles. And then on the day I came back, and I'm just lining this up with the columns up above, I also traveled that same distance and notice that it's using my mileage rate to calculate the amount that I'm due back for mileage. So meals we've already taken care of. These are the three things in this case I'm getting reimbursed for: my lodging, my per diem, and my mileage. So we're heading down here. You're going to enter the key that is going to be the place that's reimbursing you for the trip costs. And then I'm actually noticing here, we don't need to worry about subtracting the amount of the dinner cost because that was already calculated on the last sheet. So I think we're totally good there. So this is done. You now need to forward this ahead to your supervisor for their signature and adding the date, and you will type your signature and date into here. And we're going to ultimately be downloading these pages. So when I have everything signed, I want to make sure that I'm downloading sheet one, which is the travel request form, and sheet two, which is the travel expense report. I need to download those as PDFs because I'm going to be uploading them into the reimbursement website. So this, I'm going to talk about it more briefly, but let's just briefly say, well, how do you actually get paid? So I know that I need to get paid $735, and I need to get reimbursed for the cost of my hotel, my mileage, and my per diem allowance. So the idea is that you would log into your Business Plus app. You have a link to it here. Once you log in, you're going to select expense reimbursement web form. And then you're going to start going through the process of uploading any receipts that you need to upload, and selecting which account this is coming out. You'll enter your employee ID. You'll say the date that the purchase happened. So in the case of lodging, I would put the date of that receipt. In that case, I would need to also attach the receipt for the hotel. When I get to my mileage, I'm going to go ahead and put in the date, select mileage, explain it was my trip, and then the object codes are described down here that you can select for this. I think with mileage, it automatically selects a mileage code that goes with that. And then I have to remember with per diem, I need to also enter this in. So I would do a third addition where I would add one more expense. I will add in meals. I will put in this case, I suppose it's a date range. Maybe you could use the last date of your trip, and then put in the total amount of your food budget, which in this case was $131. You also are supposed to add attachments of both your expense report and your travel request form. So when I was saying once you get them signed, you're going to download them as PDFs. Now this is the spot where you upload them, and you can then submit it. When you're all done, you'll hit submit, and you should be reimbursed usually by the Friday of that week. All right, I'm hoping all this information is correct. If you find any mistakes, please let me, Amy Lindahl, know, and I can either update the video or I'll add a note underneath the video with any corrections.